Hey everybody, this is Nate. We have 3 Legends of America today that we're going to discuss. Trying out a new format. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. In the 1850s, a group of prospecting friends were having a drink in Eureka, California. One of the men had just struck it rich, and he had no problem coming into town and throwing his money around, and everybody knew him in the town, liked him, and liked the money that he brought to the small town too. At this point, his name has been lost to time. Nobody really knows what it was, but he went by Set 'em Up, and that's what we know today. Set 'em Up was one of the men in this group, and everybody was having a drink and having a good time, and these guys were his friends. He would come to town every year in the winter, and in the spring he would leave. He would be gone for a while. He would come back in the fall. Everybody knew that he had a mine. He didn't really try and hide it, and he had a lot of friends in the area, so everything was good. His friends also did want to know where his mine was. So this evening, these men were drinking together. It was the middle of winter, and his friends, no doubt, were enjoying their free drinks, but were also trying to get Set 'em Up a little intoxicated, so he would start revealing the location of his mine, and it worked. On this particular night, even though they had tried many times before, he actually started revealing the location of his mine. He told them that his mine was actually nowhere near Eureka. It was up in Oregon. He actually owned a cabin in southern Oregon. He could go up there, stay in his cabin throughout the spring, the summer, and into the fall, and he would go to his mine, collect as much gold as he could, and then bring it back to Eureka. He never revealed an exact location, but he did give them a general area, so they kind of knew where it was. Everyone went about their business for the rest of the winter, and when spring came, Set 'em Up left, like he did every spring, and he went up to Oregon. However, when fall rolled around, Set 'em Up didn't return. So everyone was talking about it throughout the winter, and they had decided that he probably died somewhere along the way. These were pretty rough times, and something probably happened to him. So the next order of business was to head up to Oregon and find his mine. So Set 'em Up's drinking buddies who were with him that night got together, rounded up a few people, and headed up to Oregon that summer to go find his mine. When they got to Oregon, they didn't really know the area, so they met up with a couple trackers, and one of them was John W. Hillman. These men, including Hillman, all trekked off into the woods. They told him the general area and everything that Set 'em Up had told them before, and he acted like he knew the area, so they took off and they went out in the woods to go find this mine. One day they were camping and they didn't have much food. Hillman was an excellent hunter, and he decided that he was going to go out and find some food. They were in a very remote location. As far as they knew, no one had ever been in this area before. And Hillman knew the area, but he didn't know this area. Nobody had gone this deep before. Hillman left the campsite on his horse, going out looking for some food, and he got up on this ridgeline, and his horse was trotting along, and then all of a sudden came to a dead stop. Hillman is quoted as saying, "Not until my mule stopped within a few feet of the rim of Crater Lake did I look down, and if I had been riding a blind mule, I firmly believe I would have ridden over the edge to death and destruction." So on this ride, Hillman became the very first person, non-native person, that we know of to ever set eyes on Crater Lake. So on this expedition to find this mine, they didn't find any gold, but they found Crater Lake. So if you go to Crater Lake, you can do some sightseeing and possibly run across a gold mine. Fort Grant was located in Oregon between the present-day towns of Medford and Ashland. Many of the people that lived in and around the fort were prospectors at the time, so a lot of the money that was passed around was gold dust, gold nuggets. There were also some $10 and $20 coins. However, the fort didn't actually have a bank, so they had a paymaster in town that was well-liked, well-trusted, and everyone trusted him with their money. So everyone in the town would give all of their money to this paymaster. He would keep track of everything, and what he did with the money to keep it secure was he put all of it, after he kept track and noted everything, he put all of the money into an iron kettle, and then he buried the iron kettle somewhere near his cabin that only he knew the location of. The problem with his system, obviously, is that he is the only person that knows where it is. So if anything happens to him, then this entire town's money is gone. And sadly, that's exactly what happened. So tragically, he suffered a stroke one day in the 1850s. But before he died, the last thing he tried to do, he grabbed a pencil and paper and tried to draw a map of the location of the townspeople's money. Sadly, before he could get the map drawn, he passed and their money was lost. So everyone in town got together and decided that they were going to try and find this money. So they started digging and digging all around his cabin, and no one ever found this kettle full of all of their gold dust, their gold nuggets, their $10 and $20 coins. And it's, as far as anyone knows, that money is still out there today. So Fort Grant is present-day Phoenix, Oregon, and there should be a location out there where there was a cabin, and somewhere in this area there is an iron kettle full of gold. In the 1700s, when people started settling in Oregon in fairly large numbers, they started hearing stories from the local Clatsop Native Americans. One of the legends that they heard from the Clapsops came from about 100 years before. The legend goes that members of this tribe were in Neahkahnie Bay, and they watched a ship pull into the bay, drop anchor, and several men on board the ship got into a smaller boat, rowed up, beached the boat. They took out this chest, and they carried this chest halfway up Neahkahnie Mountain, where they proceeded to dig a big hole. They put the chest in. They went back to their boat. They grabbed a dead body, put it in the hole with the chest, covered everything up, went back, rowed back out to their ship, pulled up the anchor, and set sail. So obviously, with a story like this, people began searching for this treasure on Neahkahnie Mountain. Possibly one of the most famous people that were searching for this treasure was Thomas Mackay. He was a fur trader for the Hudson Trading Company. He was always working for the Hudson Trading Company. He was well known in the area, and anytime he wasn't working, then you could find him on the side of the mountain digging around looking for this treasure. Until one day, supposedly, he dropped all of his tools, he left, he quit his job, and retired that day, and that was it. In the 1870s, a man named Pat Smith supposedly found some rocks with some arrows and some X's carved on them, and the letters DEW. No one really knows what this stands for, but legend has it that the men who buried it, the natives went up there and found stones with markings on them, and these were supposedly the stones that marked the location of the treasure. Since then, several people have actually tried digging in the area, and the mine collapsed and actually killed a few people. So if you go there now, you are definitely not allowed to do any digging. You will be arrested. They don't want anybody going up there getting hurt. But supposedly, if this legend is true, and if Mackay did not find it, then there is a treasure chest up there with who knows what in it and a dead body on top of it. So I hope you enjoyed the stories today. If you found it interesting, then don't forget to like, leave comments, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.